Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason DeRoss.
Fuck Marie. This is as tall as I'll ever be.
It is as tall as Jason will ever be. That is a scientific fact. And so here we are.
I don't know. I feel like I'm straightening my back lately. So I'm feeling like maybe that is going to make me 5'8" or a good 5'7", like a higher echelon 5'7".
I just want to point out, because I can see the edge of your laptop, I'm pretty sure.
Positively. I thought that. I saw it too. I know. I knew it was going to be there. Look, I can just go like this. Watch. There we go. And you can't see nothing.
Wow. See, this
Easy as pie.
This is an example of how communication can be a positive thing. I see this too. How can we work together to rectify what is happening? Yes,
but some people would see it as a problem and others see it as art. It's all how you see things, essentially. We're all reflections of each other. Like I am what you make me be. What you observe in me is what I become.
That's actually really beautiful.
Well, it's stolen from in and of itself.
So that's how much I've retained. We have so many lovely pals in the chat. We have got Jenny finally in the chat. She's had a very busy week opening another business. Incredible. Yes. Oh, yes.
What's she opening this time? Like a software company. She's going to be a millionaire in no time.
Yeah, Jenny's going to be so rich. And to that, I really ask her for some coins. We got Rob in the chat. He said he's still groggy from last night's melatonin, but he's here and he's ready to party. Okay, so now Jason is exposing his, I believe to be Amazon ring light in the shadow of his laptop. That's a powerful lighting contraption you got there.
Yeah, I don't know why it's like funny, because it's you're like, everything I buy is off Amazon, and now it's like, why didn't you think my ring light was going to just be an Amazon ring light?
This isn't like a read against you. Like, this isn't like I'm making fun.
I don't know the tone. I'm going to reiterate someone's comment earlier this week of like, it's more in the tone that makes it. Like,
I'm not changing it. I refuse. And it was Patrick Murray calling me out for me saying, zoos, I can't.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And Jan says she changes her mind. She does want less laptop. I'm not judging Amazon. Listen, it's a terrible company. It's horrible. We all wouldn't use it if we had the option to not use it. I mean, this robe is from Amazon. So listen, what can we do?
Although at the same time, I'd be like, I don't know, of choosing not to use it. It's so like, remember when it first came out and you're like, oh my God, I can order something and it's here like that day. And you're just like, this is the greatest company I've ever seen in my entire life.
This was still the time in which I was scared to buy things online. So I was like, enjoy your Amazon Prime. I don't need it earlier because I'm not getting it at all. But things have changed. We have an amazing new chatter in our midst. I'd like to welcome Heather. She says, been listening to the pod since the jump. First time watching live. It really elevates the whole experience. Wee woo. Woo. Hello, Heather. Welcome so much to the live. It's so exciting to have you here. Get in the chat. Have some fun.
Claire took the day off work. That's crazy.
Hell yes.
To me, because like, just remembering like,
that's amazing.
Being able to take a day off work. Incredible.
Well, Jason, you and I don't have jobs, right? So every day is sort of a day off. Yeah. And,
what are you drinking today?
Oh, good question. I know we were talking about gin. I just didn't want to go walk to the liquor store. So
I thought we were talking about gin because we both said, well, we have gin.
I thought I had gin, but it was just a dusty bottle of vermouth.
I want to see what you made with that dusty bottle of vermouth then.
I mean, what I would give, honestly, Jason, I've been really reflecting on this. Okay. What I would give to wear like a really nice pair of jeans and like a heeled black boot. And then like maybe like, you know, like a sassy but fun little t-shirt and a blazer.
Sure.
Black blazer, long.
This tracks for Stacey.
Yep. Like, and go to a bar and ask for an extra dirty gin martini with olives. Like what I would give to do that, I can't even tell you.
I think that you can make this happen. I mean,
No,
like,
it's not the same. It's not the same as running 15 minutes late, rushing into a bar with a story, looking amazing, going to the bartender, going, "Did you get a drink already? Yeah, can I have an extra dirty gin martini?" Oh, what I would give. What I would give.
I know. I hope it's not far off.
Sorry, this makeup is not this powder I always raved about. This Rimmel transparent, it sucks. Sorry if I've ever.
This is actually one of my not pet peeves, but it's like I trust in reviews. Like if you're going to buy something new, you're like, okay, I'll check the reviews or whatever.
Yeah.
Because when you review a product, you're reviewing it probably within the first month you got it. You're like, oh, I love this, or oh, I hate this. Oh, well, if you're doing it months later, good for you. You're a great reviewer because like that's the thing. The longevity is important.
I've been using this product for maybe.
Oh my God, edit that review of that product right now. You go edit your review of that product and tell people it's terrible.
People who wear makeup will know what this means. Like having this completely cracked, like it's been used. I've been using this since like 2012. Now I feel my skin has changed and this is absolute bullshit. So if anyone has
it's 9 years, then that's a bit different.
Maybe, if anyone has a recommendation for a powder, that would be great. Because it sucks.
What are you drinking?
Coffee and Baileys. That's all I have.
That's what you went for. That's great.
Can I tell you what I did though?
Of course.
What are you drinking?
I mean, what else are we doing here?
I know. Okay. What did you do?
I did a gin fizz.
Fuck yeah, that looks great.
I made it a little while ago, so the foam has obviously went down a little bit. But it's fresh lemon with some brown sugar. I did a dry shake with fresh lemon, brown sugar, and then what was the other? Oh, the gin, obviously. There's one more item in there. And egg whites. And then I shook it up dry shake. Had to do. I only did a touch of egg whites because I'm like, I don't want to die today, or sit on the toilet for a while. So I shook it up once, and then I put ice in, did a wet shake, and then I added.
Can I tell you?
Added this.
Can finish.
A limoncello soda water.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this. It sounds like there's maybe one or two potentially too many ingredients in there, but it looks
classic
amazing.
Gin fizz.
Yeah.
I used brown sugar instead of a simple syrup just because I didn't want to like spend the time doing a simple sugar this morning. But yeah.
And Heather is saying, the egg whites, she's
Here's
shaking
the thing.
her head after your last egg incident.
I didn't use those bronchitis eggs. We got new eggs.
Good.
There's new eggs in the fridge.
Jameson's having a bit of an interesting day. He said his oven stopped working mid bread bake. So that's his Friday. He's hoping the WandaVision finale better not suck. I've been watching that show too, and I am 3 episodes behind. And
there's only 1 episode left.
A lot of questions.
Well, it's out now. It's out now. So it's only 1 episode left for me.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
No, I'm liking the show. I love Catherine Hahn. Can we just for a second on her, Catherine?
Mm-hmm. I bet I kind of knew you would. Of course.
She's my woman. She's my type of woman. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. If I had a career like Catherine Hahn, I would die. Okay. She plays the best roles. I think it's disrespectful to say she's underrated because I feel like people who know, but like generally speaking.
It's not a household name.
Exactly. And that's my problem because Catherine Hahn's incredible, sexy, plays so many cool characters. She's on Central Park, the animated show. Hahn is
great voice.
Best.
That's why too.
Gorgeous woman. That's when people go like, how do you want to like age? I want to age like Catherine Hahn, which is
cool.
Not to.
She's ageless. I didn't realize until like this show because. Yeah. Or maybe I just didn't remember during the Avengers movies. I didn't realize that was one of the Olsen sisters. And then afterwards I said Elizabeth Olsen. I was like, oh, that's the other sister. Okay, great.
I once saw her at Comedy Bar in Toronto.
Elizabeth Olsen?
Yeah. They were shooting a movie.
I see.
And gorgeous.
She is gorgeous. Of course she's gorgeous.
And she's not the type. Okay, anyways, won't get into it. But I was just like, whoa, she looks like a regular person, but gorgeous.
Is this Jameson making a Star Trek sort of reference joke? Is that what that is?
I think he's just into her as well.
Okay.
Okay, so last night I was watching RuPaul's Drag Race UK, and I had a bourbon, which I could have had this morning, but
I was about to say,
yeah. I haven't really been drinking at all. I've been really enjoying my non-alcoholic partake beers. They're delicious. But I was like, oh man, like I'm just gonna have a little cocktail because I was really nervous. I thought maybe my favorite queen wasn't gonna go, so I had to calm the nerves. And as I was making it, I was like, well, and then I looked at my bar, which is just dusty vermouth and a bit of Bailey's. I was like, well, I got nothing for tomorrow. Absolutely nothing. And then I kept pouring. So I'm really sorry. What was I going to say to you? What
happened last night? You were talking about last night. Watching RuPaul's Drag Race.
That's what happened.
Okay, that's the story.
Drank. End of story. I tried to watch WandaVision. It wouldn't load. I was upset. I'm 3 episodes behind. I have no idea what's happening.
I watched in and of itself again. Just because I was like,
I'm excited to talk about this.
Me too. Before though we get into that, I got a surprise for you today.
Oh my God, what?
Well, okay, I don't have to give it to you because
please give it to me.
I actually contemplated not.
Classic Jason, being so.
There's
withholding.
A reason though.
Okay.
Because I watched something and I was like, oh, it's bad. It's very, very bad.
No, what?
I found that commercial that I was talking about, the one where I was a bike courier. I found it and I was like, and I watched it. I was like, it's very, very, very bad. So like, I don't want it to. I was gonna send it to you, and then I'm like, no, then she'll have this forever, and I just can't have that.
Are you gonna play it on the podcast?
I don't know if I could.
Hey, have you heard this one? True story. A bike courier takes on Revenue Canada. This guy'd been pedaling all over the city for a long time. He took his lunch when he could. He called it fuel. He claimed his fuel as an expense on his tax return. The nerve of this guy! Nobody'd ever tried that one before. But he didn't give up, and he continued to enjoy his fuel. Revenue Canada had a different point of view. They went to court. Guess what? He won. He made the front page. Everywhere. I want to buy that guy a beer. Respect. It's a Canadian thing.
It's so bad.
Jason.
The calculator is the size of the desk.
Jason, okay. I didn't know this was going to be shown. Oh my God. My robe is soaked with my tears. First of all, for the people listening, they're hearing my reaction on the audio version of the podcast where I'm screaming. Yeah, because
you're muted for me, obviously, but like, that's crazy because
Jason,
it's so bad.
For the Patreon, can we go shot by shot through the commercial and just unpack it as a special 100%,
because I can tell you, like, there's stories to every one of those shots for sure.
So we are going to do a Patreon exclusive shot by shot of Jason's illegal cease and desist Molson Canadian commercial.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want that to reflect what I do ever in my life, because that was before I was doing anything, and that was,
of course,
and that was somebody. I won't spoil the shot for shot, but it's like dance more, dance, and you're like, oh, this is what you want, and you're just like, great. It was tough.
Okay, a few things. Okay, just because of the last shot. That woman just in a full bikini top with huge boobs and you laughing out of frame, basically.
The one thing that
woman?
I don't know. She was the only one that they brought her in on the last day to shoot, like the last shot, because that was just a patio in the back of our ad agency studio. And the one thing that he was priding himself on was like, I want to take them in a different direction, because this was back in probably 2004 even or 5, and he's like, I want to get beer commercials away from like boob shots and bikinis, and you can see like it's still it's all masculine as hell, but then he ends it on that shot, and I was like, okay, well,
also the random old man going, I want to buy that guy a beer. It's like, did he even say that?
No, that's the voiceover.
Wow. Okay, so please check out our Patreon. We'll put it up. We are going to go shot for shot through that. Okay. Oh my. Do you want to play it again?
I mean, do you want me to play it again?
Yeah. Jason's upset.
I mean, I'm seeing, because
I tell you, it was hilarious the whole way through, but I was like, wow, this is a long commercial.
It feels long even now. Like it was long then. And can you imagine at the cottage, these Molson executives that were like, because that's what we did. We called them because it was a long weekend. He got a hold of them up in like the Muskokas or some shit like that through an email. And then he's like, I know where you guys are. Watch this. It'll be on David Letterman in these 2 markets. And you're
Tasha says it best. Long commercial, mostly not about beer. It's very unclear what it's about. And also Rob calling her the big booby lady at the end as an epilogue. Her boobs were huge and you weren't even in frame and you didn't even see you drink a beer.
I don't think he thought that shot was about, it's like, he didn't even realize, he's like, that shot's not about the boobs. It's like, yeah, everybody that I've ever shown that commercial to has been like, because I showed it to my wife yesterday and she's like, the boobs. And I was like, yeah.
The boobs are, as someone who has big boobs, I mean, like when you're wearing a bikini top or they're out, you know? So it's hard to
I don't even know what kind of top that is. It's just like, she got like a tank
think it was a bra.
No, it's a full shirt. It goes down like to her jeans or whatever, but like.
And this is a good question. What happened to that giant sandwich? That's not a Subway sub.
No, that's not a Subway sub. That was, I don't remember, to be honest, where we got those subs from. I remember I ate too much sub and I had to spit. That's when I learned what spit buckets were. And at first I was like, no. And then I was like, yes, definitely a spit bucket.
I just think like you pretending to be a business person in just a loose Hanes t-shirt is ridiculous. And you,
totally.
Sorry.
And again, I'm not supposed to be a business person. I'm supposed to be the courier that beats Business Canada or whatever.
No, I get it. But and I hope you hold this with love, because I don't really mean this as anything rude, but like,
I'm going to cry today.
Even though I saw you biking in that commercial, I didn't believe that it was fast.
Oh, I'm not like,
I mean?
Sure. Like I'm not, that was, I mean, again, we don't want to go through the shot for shot, but like, I think I'm on like a mountain bike and like I'm following a car, like a big Jeep that's driving at a very slow pace, but I'm following it. And this is at probably like 4 to 4:30 p.m. at like King and Bay Street on Toronto, which only is going to.
We're getting a question here going, what's this commercial for again? So just for people to catch up, Jason worked in an advertising firm. And in order to try and, I'm stealing your story, so please jump in. But in order to steal or try and get and impress Molson Canadian or that company, Jason's wild boss was like, let's just make an ad and get it on TV because it'll be undeniable once they see it. And we'll get hired. That's
basically the story.
So this played after David Letterman, right?
This during during Late Night with David Letterman back in the day. And like,
my God,
when we say wild boss, it's like, yeah, because this guy was apparently a genius at one point, and then when I was working for him, still like he had great. It's like he's, you know, if you ask people in the ad agency who Von Whalen was, if they were around in the 90s,
you don't have to name this person.
I will, because he was great. He was my boss. I was like friends with him really, and he. You know, he was just crazy, and you knew he was crazy. Crazy in a good way. Everyone.
Jan's correct. She goes, taxes, Subway, bike safety couriers, Mel's giant calculators. I would believe it was an ad for any of these before I believe it was for beer. So again,
I don't know. Maybe that last second, that boob shot will be like, oh, beer. Okay, great.
Well, that was the only one that really tracked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Jason, I can't wait to really go through this, and I just want to applaud you already for your vulnerability and openness, because I already have so many questions, and I can't wait to rewatch it tons and tons, so that when we start going shot for shot, I have very specific analysis.
I love it. I was like, this is going to be a great gift for you today. But I honestly was going to send it to you because now I have it like on my computer. I'm like, I'll send her the file, but then I was like, no, this is.
No, this was a great gift.
Have that.
I've sweat through my whole robe.
Me too, but for different reasons.
Jameson says I want a shot for shot remake, and I would be happy to help you do this, Jason. I don't mind putting on a bra top. I just don't want to sit that close to you while I'm in it. That's not what we're about. That's not our vibe. But I'm happy to lend the gals for some comedy. That's incredible. Well, thank you so much for what a beautiful Friday gift. And I thought you were great in it, like Jan says. I also thought you were great in the ad.
Oh, thanks. But, you know.
The big sandwich makes no fucking sense. It was like you had to use your it made your hands look so little, just you with this big sandwich.
I don't know. Like, here we go.
Hey, have you heard this one? True story. A bike courier takes on Revenue Canada. This guy'd been pedaling all over the city for a long time. He took his lunch when he could. He called it fuel.
I was just trying to get to the sandwich.
You eat so many times. Okay, again, we will do a shot for shot for our Patreon, but you eat a lot in this spot. No wonder you wanted a spit bucket. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything nearly, I mean, that's epic. You know what we should try and find is my Foodland commercial where I'm in jail.
Where you're eating the lard?
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we should do for Patreon too, is just go through all of our commercials that we've done. At any point, did you play the sandwich as a saxophone, like as a fun bit, or?
The finger guy.
So, I had a really cool thing happen where, as you know, I've been really thirsty online. I've been really leaning into my new model persona.
Making it happen.
I'm making it happen. So I just posted a little shot that I took with some new photography paper. Anyways, posted it. People have been very sweet and supportive. But we had I had this amazing
I know what you're talking
creator. Yeah, this showed up. Libby Doodlin. Wow. Isn't that really cool? She did a drawing of a previous post as well. But isn't she so freaking talented?
It's crazy. Like, yeah. There you are. That's your model shot.
There I am. That's the model shot.
You should use that as your headshot.
Oh my God. Can you imagine I had a job that needed one? Can you imagine? I was asked.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just wanted to say thank you to Lee for or Leah, but I believe it's Lee, for making that. It was so sweet and so nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was really, really cool. I also wish I could draw. I simply can't.
It's one of those things where you see it and you're like, oh, do me. But you're like, well, that took her a lot of time and that's a lot of work. It's great. But everybody will want that.
And it's really funny. I really can't draw at all. I once played this board game with friend or online game, which
I know what you're talking about. Well, that's a part of Quiplash, which we have a Quiplash night coming up.
We have well, I love TKO. I love the t-shirt game. That's really fun. But it wasn't this. It was like kind of like a play on werewolf or something. And one of the clues to determine if you were like an alien or not was if you had to draw. And I can't draw, so I had to draw a crab. And everyone's like, Stacy's the alien. Like because basically what happens is everyone gets like a call to action, like, hey, draw a crab. But if you're the alien, you get a different one. Like, draw this, and then you have to justify and explain why yours was different. Does that make sense?
Yes, but it does seem like it's a giveaway of who the alien is at the same time.
Right, but it's just a little different. Like, it'll say, like, a sea creature or something. But anyways, I wasn't an alien, drew a crab. Everyone's like, you're the alien. They kills me out of the game. And I was like, I just can't draw. I just don't know how to draw. Anyways. We do have a Quiplash night coming up, and you will see exactly what
it will last longer than that. It'll last longer than the 5 seconds it took to play that one game.
Yeah, 100%. So do we want to get into the movie, or have people watched it? Would we be ruining it for people if we discussed it?
We have given out warnings. So I would say this, because we got to get into it. We said we were going to get into it, and people were doing their homework like an awesome community did. So like, if you haven't, stop this podcast right now. Because you should watch it first.
You got to watch it. Now, we obviously don't want everyone to leave, but I will say just to clarify with Jen.
I think that the people are with us live. I think probably most of them have already seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it. But I will say, before we get into that, a couple things. So Jen, the game was like Werewolf, where you have to decide like who's the werewolf and kill them. But it was the same game, but it was like, are you an alien? I can't remember the name. Anyways, I also want to just give a quick little update before we get into in and of itself, because I was talking about a new period cup that was coming in the mail, the Nixit. Okay. And I just want to give an update. It's great. It's great.
Well, you were worried because you're like, I got to get it way up there, but I don't want to talk about this. I can't talk about this.
Why not? Why can't you talk about it?
You can't sit next to me in a shirt. I can't talk to you about how far you.
No, I can't sit next to you in a bikini top and us giggling while we're drinking a Molson Canadian. Okay.
All I'm saying is like, there's parts of our relationship that's like, I don't know. We can.
Like the time we kissed and then never talked about it again. We had to and this was for a short film.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But anyways,
I forget what the name of it is now. Oh, One Afternoon.
But I want to talk about the Nixit really, really quickly if people are thinking about getting it. So it's different than a cup because it's a disc. So it goes like higher and you sort of have to tuck it into your pubic bone, which is so strange. See Jeanette saying, I want to get started in this, but there's so many to choose from. What? Are you so uncomfortable by this, Jay?
No, not at all. But just Stephanie being like, good thing Jason had a baby boy.
Oh my God. If I did explain to my dad about the difference between a menstrual cup and disc, he'd be like, what?
I'd be fine with it. I think I'd be fine with daughters and being able to go through all that kind of stuff. No problem.
100%. The name does sound like Nixium. Absolutely. Yeah, I really wish it had a different name. It's too Ranieri. I mean, it does come with a volleyball, but you can or cannot use it depending on your interests.
You have to put a little tattoo on the side of your thigh just before you put it in.
Yeah, I did have a midnight game of V-ball with a ponytail. And I put the Nixit inside me and I said, if anyone has any questions or concerns, ask me after the game. Okay. All right. Let's play ball. But anyways, the Nixit I highly recommend. Apparently it's like hit or miss depending on the anatomy of your body. And the thing about cups and discs is like you put them inside of you and then you're like, well, I'm either ruining my genes or it worked. And I will say I was pleasantly surprised. It was really great. I just wanted to say that.
No, that's good. Because we've talked about other products like that before, and then people on chat are like, yeah, hell yeah, I'm now going to try that shit out.
Well, because my thing is, it's like, I wish people, I mean, I love when people talk about it openly because then it's like, it's not a guessing game. It's like, it's so strange where we have to
I know. How many times have you reached out to like the Facebook Hive Mind or whatever and been like, okay, I need another book to read. And like people can easily talk about that kind of stuff. But if you were like a product like this, it's like, why can't you just reach out and be like, what works? What's the best?
What works? What's best? So how a disc works, now I could be completely wrong because I'm like very new to it. I've only been using it for a few days, but it's way longer than a cup. So it's like you kind of have to squeeze it and then you insert it and then you basically insert it all the way and then you have to like push it up even further. So it goes way higher than the cup. Yeah.
Is that like, yeah, great. I mean, it works.
Do you have a question about it? I'll answer it.
I don't think so. Because I'd have all the same questions that every guy always has. It's like, great. Well, like I don't know. Can you tell during the day? I don't need to know these questions.
Can I tell during the day that I have it in? No, it's way more comfortable. I find it's more comfortable than the cup. Yeah, it's way more comfortable than the cup for me. They say that you can have like sex with it in, and it would be mess free. I'm still like a noob to the disc, so I wouldn't be like, woo woo.
That's the selling product. That's the selling point. They should have a commercial where two people are just having sex, and at the end it just goes, Nexium cup. And then Keith Raniere comes out of the bed and goes,
Jason, Ew.
You can have sex on it. That's their tagline.
Well, I feel like that's great. I mean, here's the thing. If men had their periods, there would be a product already where you could have mess-free sex. It would not be a bother. You would go your whole day not knowing that you are even bleeding.
Tax-free. They'd probably be giving them out for free.
Yeah, so it's like, it's so crazy that now at 35, I'm like, oh, I could have mess-free sex and have my period and it be clean, and I don't have to rush to the bathroom every hour to change a huge ass pad or tampon. Great. Like, it's so wild that it's taken this long.
Yeah.
What?
James, that's pretty funny. At first I was like, what do you mean? And then I realized the Keith Raniere Nexium cup commercial. It's like the music from that dun dun dun, the Molson Canadian ad I just showed.
I can't even. Heather goes, is it actually mess free? I don't know. I've been reading reviews where some women were like, this didn't work for me, and some were like, it was great, mess free sex, it was super great, but I don't know. And it is reusable. You have to boil it. You boil it after you're done using it, and you're good to go. But anyways, I'm happy to have a period
Honey, what's
chat.
this soup? It's delicious. Is that what's going on?
Yesterday I was cleaning my pot for like oatmeal, and then I had to use it again to boil my period cup, and I just thought, just like, women are warriors. Like, who could even approach me? And I was like, come to my house. That pot's been used. Okay. What am I supposed to do? Get a separate? I have to buy this $50 disc and I have to get a new pot just to boil it? Give me a break. Everyone get over it.
Yeah, Jen got it. My husband did ask, what you making?
Period disc. What are you doing, you piece of shit? Are you doing anything? You doing anything helpful to the world or anything? Oh no, playing with figurines? Okay, you have fun over there.
Actually, I did want to tell you about my Boba Fett because it didn't come with a backpack, a jetpack, and then I got this one.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Did it? Okay. Well,
you know how much I really wanted it.
I'm just bleeding over here like a lot because it's day one and I have to pretend I'm not. Anyways, yeah, I'll go pick up the kids from school. You enjoy your Boba Fett. It's nice that you have hobbies, Dale. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a privilege. It's a privilege I have. Yeah.
That Dale just starts doing that just to alleviate any fights. Yes, it is the privilege I have, Marie. It is the privilege I have. I'm sorry, Marie, but it is the privilege I have.
It's weird, Marie. Like, it says that you're supposed to make 80%. You only make 80% on the dollar that I make, or 73%. But like, for somehow you make more than I do. So I don't know. What this relationship is way off.
And I think we all have to hold the privileges that we have. Don't you agree, Marie? Now. Anyways, that's my Nixit review, but I will keep you updated. I am preferring it more than the cup, I will say. Jan says, I just wish I could squat over a bucket for 8 hours while binging Futurama and eating chocolate, and then it's just done. Wouldn't that be great? Oh yeah. That would be amazing. Courtney says, I finally made it to the live chat. It's been so long. Welcome back, Courtney. We're just talking about period discs, as one would.
I'm also waiting on
Kayla,
Snaking.
Yeah, we haven't seen Snaking. What is going on with him? But just to answer Kayla, yeah, I don't know. I just read about the disc. I looked at reviews. I kind of like did a gamble. They do a return. So if you're just like, oh, this like does not work with the body.
See what we need? This is what goes back to long-term reviews. Don't review it after day one, after one use. Tell me about it 6 months from now.
Well,
when
that
you've been
is
using
true.
It and you understand. Yeah,
that is true because I used the Diva cup. In the first period, a dream. Not a leak, not a anything. It was perfect. It was amazing. The second period, like maybe a little leak. Third period, a mess. Ruined everything. I owned to the point where I just went and got tampons because I was like, this is crazy. Then I used it again, and now it's become like old hat. But yeah, so the disc might be that as well. What?
Wait a second. What is happening here?
Jenny
says,
says,
are you friends with Snaking? Like, what the hell is going on?
Don't tell Jason anything. Keep the mystery alive.
Is it because he's in Toronto? She is in Toronto?
I think Snake King is in. No, Snake King's in the Discord. Boston. No, but Snake King's in the Discord.
Snake King's not in the Discord.
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, this is huge intel. This is huge intel.
See, people are like, Jenny knows Snake? What's happening here?
That's a huge bomb drop. They're just really, really busy.
Also, Danielle says Nixit is greater than Diva Cup. I'm a huge fan. So great, you're getting some positive reviews in.
Yes.
Snake is in the Discord.
I told you. Yeah.
But is it under Snake King? Or is this person using different name in there?
Of course. Snake's in the Discord. Christ. Huge news.
I'm reaching out.
Also, Jen saying that's awesome that Nixit does returns. That is always the concern about spending the money. Absolutely. I know how like terrifying it is because it's like $50 is like $50. Like,
wait a minute, it's $50?
Yeah.
Ladies, you're getting ripped off in your lives. What the fuck is happening? They should be giving these things out for free. This should be coming from Planned Parenting.
We should make a period cup that's $10. Good quality, high grade silicone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it costs $40 to make it, but we're gonna sell them for $10. We're
gonna sell
entrepreneurs.
It for 10. We're entrepreneurs. Add it to the list. Because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But it is reusable. You never have to buy tampons again. But is there a product that men have to buy that women don't have to?
No, because we shave, you shave. We have deodorant, you have deodorant. We don't have to buy makeup for the most part. It's insane how much you probably spend in like a drugstore that we don't have to spend.
I know. And, and what's sad about it for me is there's no greater time than just sauntering around a drugstore. Oh, do I love it? It. Solids in here. Everyday regular use penis covers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Underwear.
I thought women had to buy those though. I thought women had to get those though as well.
Yeah, we have to buy underwear. And let me tell you, I am going through, I was thinking about this. I was going to bring this up to you. You know how like we're always like, oh, we don't feel good about ourselves. I think it's because you and I have terrible underwear. I think you have bad underwear. And I think I do too.
I have great underwear. I love my underwear.
Do you actually?
Some of them.
What a quick fall.
You know how you have like, maybe this is only true for me, but you got like.
You're thinking of one specific pair that you like.
Like 4 pairs maybe.
Yeah.
Although I can only think of one right now. But yeah. Wait, do other guys not wear little 12 penis caps over the penis? Yeah, we all do.
Yeah, Peter,
I make my own, so it's pretty cheap.
If people are new to the chat, Solid Content is our friend Peter. He has a great podcast called This Time It's Different with Peter and Chris. Chris Wilson, a fan of the pod. Jason's dead. I guess, Peter, you're going to have to jump in. Okay. Now, do we want to get into In and of Itself?
We got to. We have to. We said to people we would talk about it today. So if you haven't seen it yet,
I know. I just feel
you
oddly
had your
guilty.
warning. You had a fair warning. We gave a week and a half. We told them last Wednesday. We mentioned it again on Friday.
I'm just like nervous because
it's so good.
I just don't want to ruin it for anybody. If people
and we don't want to tell people to go away because like we love having you here, but I'm sure I don't know if there's many people on here because of the intel I've got from the Discord, even though I didn't even know Snake King was on it. I think a lot of people did their homework and a lot of people watched it, and because I think we need to reward those people because they were all like, hell yeah, we gotta we did our homework to talk about it.
So let's talk about In and of Itself because it might be. So Jason was telling me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And
specifically you because of a couple of the aspects of it.
Yeah. So do you want to start? So you start because you watch.
Well, I was getting you to watch it because like you and I have written so many shows together and we've tried to achieve a lot of different things. We write from a point of view. Like it's true that we do sketch comedy, but like ours is based in a lot of like, it's not a lot of character based stuff. More of, even though we do characters, it's based in like we have points of view behind it. And I really feel like this was such an amazing live stage show that you could probably take a few different themes from it. I don't know what his name's Derek, right? Like I got to get that right to start off, but like he for sure, I just can't remember his name.
Calling him Delvin and we're like, I don't know. He's like, first of all, he's like a world.
Rulatista, like that's what you know him as now. But even though you shouldn't know him as one thing. So it's like, you could take a couple different themes from it all falls a little bit on like, what truth is and like how you identify, how people identify with you, what makes you, what makes something. Because he even starts out, he's like, you're all sitting here watching a man you assume this is a play because we all know the word play is like you're watching somebody that has scripted lines on a stage, and that's what you're watching with me. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah,
just to tell Peter what we're talking about. We're talking about this show. Sorry, excuse me. I watched it on YouTube. It's called In and of Itself. It was a one-man show, and it's absolutely incredible. It's now on Crave, I believe, in Canada. But again, I rented it on YouTube for like $2 or something. It's an incredible live show. It is.
Peter, you don't want this spoiled. This is such a good show to
Peter,
see before you learn too much about this.
I think, Peter is in Peter and Chris, which is an incredible troupe, and they have like created so
Fringe darlings. People
Fringe
love
darlings.
these two people, and deservedly so.
Incredible live shows that are just so wonderful, and I just feel like, Peter, you would really, really enjoy it. It's so up your alley. Anyways, I wow, never been kicked out of a podcast audience before. Well, you can stay, Peter, but we just don't want to ruin it for anyone because it's such a great show. And it wasn't ruined for me, and I think that's why I loved it so much. Like, you just kept saying, just go watch it, and I
and now you know why that you can't, but that's the whole thing. I couldn't tell you one sentence about it other than it's a live show. That's all I could really say.
I know. So anyways, the thing I loved about the show so much is I think oh, he says he's going to watch. Okay, perfect, Peter. I think the thing that I love about this show so much is that it's about making people feel seen, and seen in a way that they feel they're not viewed as, or this aspect of themselves that they often don't get to show. And I just think it's like, it's the most beautiful and incredible thing when you're like performing and you can have an audience feel like they're seeing themselves or an aspect of themselves. And I was just like taken by that from the beginning.
I'm going to cry just talking about it, I think, probably. This is like going back to that moment where we got Amber Alert from, because like, I'm going to jump ahead just because I
don't mean to laugh, but
no,
Jason.
It's fair. That's totally fair.
No. It's so true.
There's one part in it. And this is jumping to the end. So maybe
let's start from the beginning. Like, okay, we're not going to like, the thing about it is like when people, reduce it to like a magic show, it's like so not that.
No.
And like I am not one, like, listen, we all love magic or whatever, but it was done in such a way where it's like you weren't like, whoa, where did that rabbit come from? You were like, whoa, how did he connect with this person? How does he know this about this person? And like, it was wild. Like it
gets down to that story about the brick and stuff like that, when it's like he makes it great. The magic is he makes the brick disappear, but the brick was like, he's like, it's not a brick. Yeah, you've put something on this tangible item because of the weight that it carries, because of how you see things. So the truth is in what you see, and I was just like, this is too much for me.
Jameson said he bugged him a lot at first.
Oh no, I can understand it. I understand if you're like, he's very dramatic in his storytelling, but I was like, you're an amazing storyteller. Take me anywhere. But I understand like if you, it's like if you watched a great sitcom, but sitcoms are always based on a good character. And then like, but if you don't like the character, you're not going to like the TV show. And I'm like, oh, well, sorry, Jameson, but it's so good.
The brick was unbelievable. And I also, like, okay, so the show starts and you're like, this is a one-man show, right? You can kind of like roll your eyes. Like, I mean, Jason and I, even when we were writing our show, our director, Rob Baker, Casual Friday, was like, he had to pull Jason and I aside because we were making fun of one-man shows.
You guys stopped doing these one-man show bits?
Because we were making fun of people writing shows. He's like, you're writing a show. Like, you're in the Fringe Festival. And really what he was calling us on was like our fear of being vulnerable. Because we were just like, this is a bit of a
sure,
wank,
we're doing it probably because we know like we have to get to a pace where we have to do that too. But like, we've all seen bad shows as well, where we're just like, okay, cool. Well, it's fun to like find the fun in those as well.
For sure.
Like, and also, maybe some people thought our show was bad. So like, who knows?
Totally. I mean, they'd be wrong, but that's fine. They can think that. No, but I liked it going in because here's the thing. I like a little frou-frou, wee-woo. Like I will get into it. So I was like, okay, I'm down. He really set the tone and he had this sadness in his eyes. I just felt really connected to him. And the cards really was so dynamic when he was talking about how he would like deal cards and how he is a wolf, and a lot of people don't think he's a wolf, and I was like, marry me.
Because it starts off with like there's that moment in the sun when you look off and you can't tell if it's a wolf or oh no, I lied, that's mixing two of the parts together. But you're a wolf or a dog, and he started off as a dog and then was like, I want to be a wolf.
And then he was a wolf. So for people that like, I mean, I don't know if you, what?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, like, basically the show starts and there's like, he talks about a Russian roulette. So how many barrels are in a gun? Like there was six. So he's got 6 barrels on the wall. And each barrel is a story. And mixed in those stories is like illusions and tricks. Jenny said this, which I thought was really incredible. She's like, I watched it and tried to not immediately run to Reddit to figure out how things were done. I don't want to know how he did it. I have ideas of how he did it because like... Yeah,
we could talk about that because like I feel like there's stuff with like the letter that we can go, okay, I think this is how it went down because, you know, Second City, during our time at Second City, just before us, Mr. Casual Friday was in a scene where they had, when Facebook first came out. So they had tricked people a lot in that scene and brought people up, but what they didn't realize is they just used their credit card information, went to Facebook, found out a lot about their personal information, and then was like, great, we're going to use that in a scene. It's really going to fuck these people up. And it did. So like, I'm like, okay, so maybe there's something that's the first thread of that letter thing, maybe, but I don't know what he did for real. So
the thing is, you kind of want to figure it out as like an artist. You're kind of like, whoa, how did you do that? But it was like to see people, sorry, as I hit my mic, feeling seen in entertainment, I think is incredible. Because I feel like and I'm guilty of this, but like in social media, like TikTok, like YouTube, like, and a lot of comedy, it's like, you should be so lucky to see me. You should be so lucky to like get to see my skill. Where the thing I connect to always, and the thing that like you know, is the ultimate goal, and sometimes you don't meet that goal, but is to like connect with people, is to make you and the audience, like you enter into a relationship. And I just thought it was breathtaking how he did that. And he was so like tender and respectful of the people in the audience. Like I didn't feel like it was, he was taking advantage of them, or it was, I can't even think of the word. It was, what do you call it? He wasn't
exploiting anybody for their stuff, because it did feel like that for a heartbeat there. I was like, oh, when that one lady who they show in the lady they used to read the letter at the end, there is like, you are breaking down a bunch. We did a scene at Second City one time. I did it with Alistair Forbes, who's a friend of the pod, where we would bring somebody on stage. And when we brought that, we would bring them and we'd make them try to be vulnerable every night.
Oh,
and we had one that went.
Well, I mean, that scene's a bit whatever, but
I loved it. It's probably one of my favorites.
But it was just like you guys being like, oh, like dicks, and then you're like, hey, be vulnerable.
Wow, no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
I mean, a bit. It was funny.
But we had a guy on stage one night that it was hard because like he obviously had some sort of like struggle with being on stage. So we do that show probably like 160, 180 times. And we had that one thing. So I'm wondering like in his show where you get the one person up there and it goes like not wrong, but I felt like that lady was close to like.
What?
I felt like that lady got close to like, you're kind of exploiting my things, but then she wasn't at all. I was like, oh, thank God. But there was a heartbeat where I was like, oh my God. She's like, well, it wasn't.
I just think you get nervous with that stuff. You get so nervous when
me?
Yeah, like you're always worried like people are gonna like not get into it. I never thought for a second that that woman was like, this is exploiting me. I think she was completely shocked.
I agree with you. I think what I'm saying is there was a heartbeat there where I was like, oh no, because he reaches out and he puts her hand down and I'm like, there was a moment where I was like, oh no, but she's really hurt right now. Like, and then she even admitted like my father's like at the final stages of Parkinson's. Like, you know, we did. I understudied once for Rob Baker's scene, the one I just talked about with Facebook, and we got the woman wasn't there, but her family was, and then we got up and then we realized afterwards she had just passed away, and they were still using the tickets that she had bought.
That's wild.
And then to have that happen on stage, you're like. And they were very gracious about it, but I'm like, holy fuck! Like we just brought them over, like this is all about your mom, and they were like, they were smiling, but like a tear, and you're like, this is powerful.
Well, he's done this
like,
show.
Weird.
Well, he's done this show like 500 million times. I'm sure there was like
500,
some weird.
It was like 562 or something like
Yeah.
that. It said at the beginning.
And I think Jen says this. I thought the I am cards at first were a way to get participation without being awkward, and I thought it was great. And then the end happens. Yeah, like him remembering that. I'm wondering. He obviously has a steel trap of a mind, and obviously, there's
tricks to it too, for sure. Yeah,
for sure. But it's like, yeah. So he can. I'm sure there's sitting people. Well, our one friend Mark Andrada, which we really should have brought him on. Maybe we will, because he was. Been to the show, and he apparently and I would love Mark to come on to talk about this, but apparently like he chose I'm a Clown because
he is
Mark is a clown, and he was like, you're what we need the most right now, a clown. Dead to the world. I can't even. It was incredible.
Jameson keeps pointing, because there's so many things I wanted to talk to, then maybe we'll get some, maybe we won't, but like Jameson keeps bringing up that the letters were in the shape of an elephant, which I watched it for a second time last night to try to catch a few things.
They were?
I never caught that.
But
Jenny said she saw that too, because there is that story of like, so the whole thing, the second watch through, I think the theme was like, we are how people see us, but we're also so much more than that. Like we are how people define us. That's because it's in different areas of your life, you become different. You become different people, right? Like we've all got different groups of friends, and in those different group of friends, we're different kind of people. But all those experiences make us someone else, and only we know the truth about our actual selves.
But I also think it's not. I think it's also we also don't know the truth, right? Like we also don't know. Like we're pulling I am a clown, or I am, like Rob said, his friend chose I am a somebody, but it's like you're also way more than that. You don't even see what. You're not even aware of all of the things that you are or how people see you. Yeah.
There was a moment in that, because when you watch it, it also feels intimate for some reason, even through the television.
For some reason, it's so intimate.
But I mean, like we've been in those small spaces, and then it's definitely, but anything you've ever watched on TV, it's a very hard medium to feel like it's intimate.
But I think he did it right.
Does.
But I think,
100%.
I think the show does it right because he filmed 1 million shows. So like there's so many cameos like people are talking about in the chat. There's Tim Gunn, there's David Blaine, there's Bill Gates. There's so many Kate McKinnon. There's so many people in the audience. He shot it 1 million times. There was so much thought and care that went into shooting it. It's not just like when you and I do a live show and it's like one camera at us, like, and I'm sure he shot some of that without an audience too, just to get the intimacy.
No. I get it, but what I'm saying is like, while I was watching it the first time through, there was like this, you're experiencing it all, and you can feel like, I don't know, there's the magic of theaters that you sort of feel. There was the one point when he was going through and he's naming everybody at the end, and he was like, because this is what I'm getting to, the I am, and he saw them as they define themselves with one word. And they're like, but we also found out, he's like, but remember, you're not that one word, you're a lot of different things, because you're a clown, but you're also a brother. Because we just saw that with the letter. It's like, yeah, great. Now these people start to become complex. But like at the end, when he was going through the audience, when he started that, there's this one guy he stared at, and I started like crying before he even said it, because I go, in my mind, I was like, he's going to say I'm a nobody. And he did say I'm a nobody. And I knew it even before he said it. And that was the end for me. When that guy's like, I'm a nobody, I'm like, can somebody please just go talk to that guy? Let him know that he's not a nobody.
Yeah. I mean,
because they show him sit down afterwards, and I'm like Derek did the whole like, this is hard to say, but you think you're a nobody, and then but it's like, okay, but now can you? I know it's not about that, but I'm like, just somebody go, you're fine, dude, you're fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the reason we're all resonating with it is like I mean, just the performance of it is like, just he looks right at these people, he doesn't move from them, he's not like adding his own impression onto what these people have said that they are. And he just holds it with them. And it was just deeply moving. Deeply moving.
Yeah.
I think for me, like him doing the cards and talking about being a wolf and being, a bad guy or doing bad things and all that. I just thought the show just held that everyone is going through something. Everyone's dealing with a tragedy, a loss, a problem, troubles. Like everyone's holding something and getting through the day. Like I just thought it was a dark show, and I feel like we're all relating to that, especially now being like isolated and alone and really reflecting on who we are in the world and what we're doing, and can anyone see you? Are you invisible now? You know, there's no noise to run away from like the introspection that everyone's having.
Yes, that's true.
You know? I don't know.
And watching it through the second time, I was trying to remember a whole bunch of things because I was like, I knew we were going to talk about it. So I'm like, well, what are we talking about? There was things that he said, watching it the second time through, that I took note of like, when you look in the sun, you can't define what's between you and the sun. Like when you look, he's like, the sun points up over here every day at this time, this light. But you can't see or make out exactly what it is, and that's how the wolf, or is that a wolf or is that a dog? I can't tell.
Totally.
And he's like, never turn your back on the sun. And he's making all these other connections too of like, you know, don't make sure you're watching you can look at your hand and think how great you're doing, but see how other people are seeing you too, because the guy brings up a gun and it's like, oh, so all of it is very thematic throughout. And then at the very end, when it's like, well, all of these 6 chambers, the stories that he told, because he's a great storyteller. The relatista was right away, you're captivated.
Oh, I was in love.
All of these 6 stories were some ways that he made him the relatista. It's like 6 loaded barrels of like, of story, all that could change him or define him or be ways to do that. And then at the end, when he's like, cool, and thank you, and they all drop, I was like, well, this is the best show.
That was unbelievable. I don't know how they did that. And I don't even want to know. I wanted to get lost in the magic of it. You know, you start like thinking about like, you know, I'm all over the place. It was just like such an incredible, unbelievable marvel. Like, I don't even know how you would explain it to anybody about what the show was.
And that's the whole thing. I'm like, I feel like I'm a parody of the person that I'm like, oh, that guy. Because everybody I see, I'm like, hey, have you seen In and of Yourself? And I'm like, I can see myself doing it and being like, okay, stop talking about In and of Itself. It's just a show. But I'm like, I love it that much. I just love it. I think it was done so fucking well.
Okay, these are the 2 points I want to point out before I forget. First of all,
okay, great.
It was maybe the coolest thing I've seen in live theater, where he kicks someone out, so they don't get to see the end. They get to write their own end, which is incredible. Yep. And he goes, in New York, he's like, here's this book. You go write in it, and please bring it back, and you can watch the ending in the next night. And everyone did.
As far as we know, that book never went away on 562 shows, as far as we know. But yeah, it's crazy that they'd come back the next day. And again, that speaks to the theme, because he talked about like some things we imagine are true and some things are actually true. So like the journals are of old sailors being like, well, there's a star there, that's north, but sometimes there's clouds. So they have to like imagine and they'll write it down. So that book was like, I'm going to define the end of the show. So some of it is as I would perceive it, and some of it as the truth of it was. There is no real truth. Yeah. We all experience truth differently.
Exactly. It was wild. And the fact that everyone brought it back blew my mind. And then I started bawling my eyes out with the elephant, where it's like, you know, the story of these people like coming across like, you know, this object and defining what it is. And then the image of like what it could have been. But then it was defined as an elephant, but it could have been this incredible unicorn, magical being. But it's been limited to and defined as an elephant. And then you just see it shrinking. And I just like was bawling my eyes out, because you just think about like the times you've limited other people, yourself.
Yeah. All of them speak to that.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was just like, how often do people... For me personally, like it was just like, how often have I limited, like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not beautiful enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm not, you know, I'm not special enough. Like, and how many times have I, you know, done that to other people or situations? It's like, it's
or help define them to other people in that sense.
Exactly.
So, and that's what makes a great stage show. That's why, again, like I said, it's about, this is why I told specifically you, I think we always wrote shows with an overarching theme, and which it's kind of like an essay. So like you in your opener, you kind of set up, it's like, great, this is a pace card. This is what the show is sort of about. So see if you can follow, but you don't talk directly about it. You talk tangentially about it and let them come up with their own conclusions. And he did that so well. Like he starts with saying, like he wrote his own
and without
card.
judgment and without judgment. Like he wasn't like, you do this, here's a mirror, society. Like it was with such empathy.
Yeah, and he started out, he picked his own I am card sort of with that story, but he goes, I am a relatista. But I didn't define that. I didn't think that. Some guy in Spain in a bar told me that I was a relatista. He goes, I will never know how he saw that. I will never know what it was. But that's how that man defined me, and that's who I was in that moment. So I will always be the relatista to that man. But I'm not.
Crazy. Well, he is.
But now he goes, yeah, but then he at the end he goes, but I guess I kind of am. Because now I'm in a dark theater 562 times. And people are paying money just to see this spectacle. So it's like, it's done so well. The connections are insane. The theme is insane. It's so good. It's just done so well. I kind of want to know who helped craft it with him to be like, cool. I love. I
think it was him and his wife. His wife said, "Oh yeah, who crafted it?" I mean, I hope he never tells. I hope he never tells and he never shows. Yeah. Because it's like also the idea of magic, of optimism, of joy, of fun, of play is so lost too. So it was like at the end with the credits, and you see all the audience like. When he asked for the intersection and then moved on, I was like, if I was there live, I'd be like, we have to go to that intersection after the show.
And you would have found the brick.
Would have found the brick. And it was like, to see like the joy of people finding that and being like, oh my God, like magic's real, like this joy and play and fun. Oh my God. It was, I gave
the
me
magic
chills.
too. I think it's like, so, I mean, we both have taught sketches and stuff like that. And you have to like, especially the way we write it again, if you're writing,
Jason always bringing it back to us. We are the same. We do this.
Well, I'm trying to just have my filter of like how I was watching it, but it's like another friend of mine once told me this thing, and I kind of stuck with it a little bit. Is like, look, people don't come to a comedy show to get lectured to or like talked to about shit or like told about. So it's like feeding your dog drugs, where you have to like take your message, but you got to cover it in that meat that they'll eat or whatever. Like you have to cover it in fun.
Do you mean
well, if it's the analogy of like, isn't that how you feed your dog drugs? If it's like, oh, I've got this pill, so I'll cover it in like meat for them, and then they'll
cover
eat
it
that.
In meat.
I've brought this up before, and people have said yes. I've covered my.
But where are they getting this meat? Like loose meat, like a ground beef?
I don't know, like some sort of ground beef, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a pet. I don't know.
Okay, well, I have pets, and I don't just have loose ground beef.
The analogy is
the
this.
Drugging.
The analogy is this. People are coming to be entertained, and they're coming to the sketch show to laugh. They're coming to this show to be like brought in. I think the magic is that sort of like he just uses that as a vehicle to get the message through there, sort of.
Snake cheese is back. Welcome back, Snake.
How
Jason's
dare you?
got some questions.
How dare you just come back and drop a bomb of cheese?
I hope he disappears again. Just goes back into it. He's just like, I just need them to know, little sprinkles. I thought
Snake
it was incredible.
King is Derek. That's what it is.
You know, it's like, I think the thing that was also really beautiful about that show is it just made me miss the theater and like the really special moments that come from it. And like when you give yourself to the audience, it sounds like so frou-frou wee-wee, but like, so Jason and I did this, we've talked about it many times, where we talked about, we did a sketch about me getting my first period, and Jason played me, and I played my mom, who was not in any capacity supportive, and it was not maybe the best period story, whatever. But anyways, we shared it and then opened it up to the audience to talk about their first period. And I'm not saying it was like the best thing ever. It was just like this special moment that you and I got to experience, was like people sharing, and then other people like laughing with them or sharing compassion with, or like you could feel the energy of support. And you just felt that in this show, and it just made me just miss that connection so much. Mm-hmm. You know, like I was just so incredibly moved. I just couldn't believe it. And he handled, like, you know, this man is very layered, and he had a hard life, and very like complicated and layered sort of way. And
Yeah, we
I
didn't
don't
even
know.
get into the story about the brick, like how he got there and how we all saw that
Oh my
brick as like
God,
a object of hate. Like it's crazy.
yeah, his mom and like, but when he was like, you'll never, Patrick, and that's on period. But like, yeah, it's like you'll never see that brick the same way ever again. And that to me is like, how many emotions have I put on objects or songs or memories or whatever, that it's like it's never going to be like an apartment. It's going to be the apartment where, you know, relationships fell apart, where I took a chance, where, I got lost for days after that show, just thinking about all of those things.
Yeah. We define things differently, but we put these words to them that make them so simplistic. And it's like, yeah, it's just weird how we all see the world.
Look at Second City. Like when we worked there, it was like the wall, like where people signed, like we're like well-known celebrities, or like you had such an amazing improv night and you write your joke on the wall. Like the sensitivity ship, like it was just a drawing and you were like, Stacey, I'm going to fucking murder you if you put one more tick.
Also because I didn't put anything on the wall. Like I purposely throughout my career there didn't put anything on the wall.
Yeah. Are you upset about that now?
I don't know, because the wall's gone. I was kind of like, oh, thank God. Because during my time there, as my first cast, we kind of all said that at first, although nobody remembers this. So I'm probably wrong, but we were all like, let's not worry about writing stuff on the wall. Let's just have fun together. And we did. Okay. And then like maybe into the second show, we had the same cast, and then someone wrote something on the wall and it was like, oh, I guess we're doing that. But I was like, I'm just not going to write anything on this wall ever. I don't want to.
Why? I don't understand.
I don't know.
Why you put those,
I stuck to it. I stuck to my guns, and my guns were dumb. I know. I just
Your
never
guns
did.
were dumb. And I'm glad that you've brought that up. No, yeah. But I think it's like, yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't have done that. That just seems so, I don't get it.
It could have been like I was just trying to be like, I thought we weren't going to write anything, because I feel like that it actually kind of speaks in and of itself. I'm like, it's going to boil down my time here to this one fun improv moment that I had. But the improv is so much, the people I meet here, the building that means so much to me, the experience that we had, I mean, like how many improv shows did we do there? So like there's a billion funny moments, and I'm going to be like, people are going to come in and be like, harmonica dick.
Oh, so
that's DeRoss, harmonica dick. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
So I think that reduces down to you being worried what other people think. So it's like your own limitation.
Well, that's what that wall's for. Like it's like you're just
give me a break. It's to solidify fun memories, you know? And that's the thing about the show too. It's true. Like, how often do you reduce yourself, limit yourself? Like, we are also in control of that, you know? And that's the thing I personally struggle with. It's like, you know, I have a lot of like walls, and like I'm very nervous and like, you know, shy to be like, here's me, these are my insecurities, this is the baggage, this is like the stories that got me here, but who is that harming? Me and my relationships with people, because
I'm not saying I was right or it was healthy. I'm not saying any of those things.
I'm just saying that sparked something in me watching the show. Was like, man, I've really put on these limitations in my life. And it's like, you know, if you enter a room, which I often do, like a house on fire 15 minutes late with my purse exploding, and I just lean into that character and I don't settle the fuck down and go, okay, but I'm also a human being, then you're just always exploding purse energy, end of story.
Yeah.
You know, if you come in and you're like, oh, well, I won't do anything just in case it gets brought up later. It's like, then people don't get to see the brilliance that is you.
I think I live through a lens like every day we're writing our eulogy, which might sound terrible, but it's like,
that's so it. That makes that is so true for you. Yes.
So I'm
like,
want
it to be perfect.
Yeah.
But who cares about that? I would rather like see you like messy and like and open.
Oh,
I mean, that's
sure. But I've been.
Well, we've had those moments, of course. But I'm saying that like, oh my God, what a gift. You know?
Yeah.
We want to see, the reason we like, you know, I'm just thinking of Gordon Ramsay because I keep seeing his masterclass being promoted to me. But it's like, you like him more because you can see that he's a piece of shit sometimes, and also a nice guy.
I got masterclass when this pandemic first happened. What a waste. I mean, it's not a waste, but like I didn't watch it. I think it's about to probably expire, and I did like a class, and then
I
should.
You know what I want to see? I want to see a masterclass of someone who's just paying their bills, who lives financially comfortably in their field. Yeah, teach me that. I don't want to see Steve Martin in his mansion going, "You ever picked up a banjo before?" It's like, I don't have time, Steve. I don't have time. Patrick, I've never heard it called exploding purse energy, but now I have a name for what I do. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Stacey's used that many a times. Yeah.
And I will say this, Jameson's asking if he thinks this is like a kid-friendly show. No, I will tell you, like, there were no boundaries in my home. What my parents were watching, we were watching. So for me, I think but I think
Jan's right. I think for small children, they'll be bored too quickly.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
but like, yeah, I think if you were like,
also,
if you're already in grade 7 or 8, you can watch this.
Who's going to a play with like a 6-year-old? Get out of here.
Do you remember those times when it was like we would do our show or something like that, and then there was like the 8-year-old, and you're like, well, they brought them here. We've put out what it is.
It's weird.
We're starting the show naked on stage, the two of us. So like, let's go. You brought your kid here.
We got in trouble for that. We did get in trouble for that.
It was
unbelievable when we got in trouble for. I was like, what? Pardon moi?
Yeah.
When because Jason and I were talking, because so Jason, we'll be very vague about it, because I mean, whatever, rules are rules or whatever, but like we were doing a show again where we were in our underwear and we talked to the audience, because at Second City, like, that's the given, like we don't want you to talk throughout the show, but if you're spoken to and you feel comfortable, you can talk to us. And I think the person running the situation at the show,
I know.
was like, what are they doing? Because they hadn't seen people talking to the audience and like wanting a conversation. Because usually it's like a one-man show being like,
yeah,
that guy looks like my friend Billy. And the guy's like, what the hell? Where we were like, hey, what's your name? And they were like, you cannot talk to the audience. And we were like,
well, we got to go rewrite our entire show then. So we'll see you next year. But no, not at all. But like, that's what we would have had to do if we didn't go, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow when we do the same thing.
Yeah. Thanks for getting us a 3-strike policy for talking to somebody in our underwear. Yeah. Okay. Well, those 3 strikes are going to come quick.
Again, to go into context too, it's like you have your stage manager, but they give you a stage manager at the Fringe show. And then he was fine by the second time he saw it. He's like, oh, okay, these guys know what they're doing, because they probably get a lot of people that don't know.
Totally. But I was yeah. Well, now we're completely off base, but I remember doing a show at the Fringe, and Jason and I did our show, and usually we were used to like comedy audiences who kind of knew what they were getting themselves into, and we had like a full theater crowd that were like, laugh out the gate? Oh no, perchance I do not think. And we were like, lighten up, my God.
I don't remember that one. I blocked that out of my memory.
Oh my God, I'll never forget. There were drinks after that one. That's for damn sure. But yeah, I thought, I don't know. I just thought it was incredible. It really made me think a lot. It made me feel creative again, which was really special, like introspective, and like, that's what you want from a show. Like you know?
Yeah. It feels like it's the apex of like, all these tiny things that you build on in your career doing live theater, at least like what I was working towards. It feels like I'm like, he did them all the things I wanted to do right. And I'm like, that's why I love this show. He did them great.
And I can tell that I definitely have a problem, because I was like, I have to kiss this man. Like, if I think someone's talented, like his crushes,
wife helped him write the show.
And not to bring this, but like, it really made me think, like, when you think of like what you find attractive in people, like, I have but no type. Like, I think that's why I've always struggled with like apps, because I'm like, well, what is their personality like? Because that's so important to me. Yeah. Because I instantly looked up if he was married, happily married man. But I was like, I have to kiss this man. So how will this be going? I didn't know I would be marrying an illusionist, but here we are, and this is what's going to happen. And obviously it won't, but yeah.
You'd be so sick of it so quickly though, too, of like like dinner parties, and you guys are throwing and he's doing card tricks, and you're like, okay, enough.
think we would know boundaries pretty quickly. You know, I've definitely dated people who did impressions and stuff, and I make it known to them. Not for me. Save it for you. I remember going, hey, maybe we save that for people that, you know, would have an ear for it or might enjoy it. It's not for me. I don't like that. I think it's
you're a tough crowd.
Yeah.
I really like
Jen goes, I get it, Stacey, but it's also that he seems like he needs fixing and it's the maternal instinct. And that is bang on. Let me fix those sad eyes. Yeah.
What was I going to say? It's also great that during all of this in the chat, Patrick and Snake King are becoming quick chums. They're meeting each other sort of for the first time.
Absolutely. Patrick's really sniffing him out. Snake's great. Been here since the beginning. Adored. Rob goes, when I see my friends' comedy shows at Fringe, I do feel like I'm doing a lot of the heavy lifting for the rest of the audience. Even if the shows are good, it's so uncomfortable sitting in and around dozens of non-laughers. I think Jason and I's, when we reach a non-laughter, we just shift and go, what do you guys like? What's something you would enjoy? Because we'll happily do that.
We'll stop in the middle of a show and just go, okay, what's happening here, guys? What's not working for you? What do you want to see?
What do you guys want to see? Because the thing about us is sad now and sad later, even if you guys are really enjoying the show. So we are happy to pivot because we need this right now. I will say my parents came to see me do improv once and they were like, we've seen it. We don't need to see anymore. I was like, that was a class show. It's different every time. They didn't care. They're like, we've seen it. We don't need to. I don't want to see any more of that. It's a lot.
That's not true. Your dad came to every opening. I think your mom did too.
He came to 2, yeah.
Oh, I was only in 2 shows with you.
Oh, he came to 3, I think. I did 5. But you know what? That's over passing grade. That's okay.
He came to 2 shows. And your brothers came to 1, but we won't talk about
that. My brothers did come to 1. They were kicked out. And there was a lot of screaming and yelling, but we won't also get into that. It really just made me miss sharing the stage with you. It's always so fun to do that. And you just, it was such a great show. And I just hope, like, if you haven't watched it, I really don't feel like we've ruined it. I think we've really vaguely talked about it because I think that's the basis of the show, really. Sure. Even if you're like, oh, he does this card trick where, like, he does all this stuff.
Oh, we haven't ruined it. It's just like, if you're going to tell people about it, don't tell them about anything. Like, let them go experience it all as is. But I think if you're like, oh, well, I kind of know what happens now or what it's about. Fuck, doesn't matter. You have to watch this. You have to watch it.
Shayla goes, comics love my husband. He LOL so loud always and gets us picked on. First of all,
do you know who the best laugher in the city is? And everyone will tell you this. There's 2. Jim Kim's a pretty good laugher, which no one in this pod will know him. But like, we have the best laugher in the city on this podcast in 2 Little Sandwiches.
Sammy's has got a great laugh. A really great laugh. I will say, Patrick goes, I'm a laugher unless something is too long. It activates something very violent in me. I agree. I'm just like, well, I've laughed. Let's wrap it up.
If you're on stage and you hear from the audience here, no, then you go, okay, great. Maybe
Patrick's here.
They were done.
Oh, he's here with Snake. That's pretty cool. I will say, Sammy's has got a really great laugh, and you know that it's really funny. And I remember at Second City where what you really wanted to get was on opening night. There's a balcony, or there was a balcony. The theater's now since gone, but there was this big balcony where, like, that's where all the comedians would sit. And on opening, you were like, if they laugh at what we're doing, right, or they're moved by it or whatever, then you got it. Then you got it, and those were always really special moments.
Yeah, it's weird. I always was trying to remember a couple of the things that only the people on the stage would recognize. I used to do a show called Sunday Night Live, which is just Saturday Night Live ripped off and put on stage. And for us, once it moved to the Comedy Bar, when you were on stage, and I think it happens a lot at the Comedy Bar, your sketch is going well and it's fun. When all of a sudden you see, like, the curtains open and people start watching from backstage, like your other castmates are like this, and then you're like, great. This is, if you're having a fun time, everyone else is piled up at the curtain, just moving it aside a bit. So everybody in the backstage can be like, oh, fuck, it's great. And I was like, oh, that's a moment that you kind of strive for, is to see that curtain open just a bit. Because, you know, like those people are watching you backstage.
Oh yeah, or at Second City where you'd be like, okay, this bit's gonna be nuts, and you would like run out to the side to go see what they're gonna do.
Yes,
I remember when I was doing main stage with Chris, he was creating Asshole Magician, which was just a long sketch about who even cares about this. Everyone's
not just a long sketch. That one's hilarious.
But it was a sketch where he does these elaborate setups to do a magic trick, and then it ends up him just giving the middle finger. And him working on it, I would go out and watch it and be so mad that I didn't think of that idea. Like every night, I'd be like, oh my God. And it just killed every night.
Yeah.
Anyways. Well, we really did it. I hope.
I think so, yeah.
It's a really great show. And I think if you haven't watched it, treat yourself and go watch it. And I will say we are going to do a Patreon shot for shot of this commercial because it's absolutely unreal and I can't stop thinking about it. And we will get into that. Is there anything we can prep for Monday? Is there anything going on or?
I don't think so. We don't have anything prepped for Monday.
Look at
my
that.
gin fizz is gone.
Look at those memories. Sorry, just
my gin fizz is all done. It was so good.
Great. I liked the wet shake that you talked about. If only little Jason could see you now. Okay, so we will be back on Monday. If you liked the app, give it a like. If you haven't subscribed, get in here and subscribe. If you want to check out our Patreon, we have a Quiplash night coming up on March 12th. And we are also going to do, like I said, a shot for shot of Jason's commercial. So if you're into extra regulars content, get in here and join the community. Anything else, Jay?
We could bring back Model Mondays. People are asking for it. Shayla especially.
They are?
Well, Shayla just said we should bring back Model Mondays.
Oh yeah, listen, we're down. You know, I'm a thirsty little gal over here. So yeah, I mean, should we do a theme?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just do spring. Let's bring on spring.
I was gonna say spring too. Look at us, illusionists.
There you go.
Spring has sprung. So tag us at The Regulars Podcast on Instagram. Get your little model shot in there. We'll share them on our stories and break it down. And we will have an amazing weekend. Be safe. Love yourself. And we'll see you on Monday. Bye.